while we're waiting, has anybody got any questions they want us to answer? Might break the ice a little bit.
Well, we can introduce ourselves first.
True.
I'm Danny, aka Grieber. I'm the project manager for the Kola map. I've been on this project now since end of 2023. So yeah, been guiding it in its direction since. And we have Clark.
Right, my name's Clark, as aka Spectre. I'm the lead developer for the Kola map and the surrounding. Been on the project now for nearly 3 years. Yep. We also have John, aka Ripper.
Evening, guys. I've worked with Clark in the past. Then we were introduced to the Orbix community, and predominantly do vector data work. So any of the splines, the roads, the little villages, anything like that.
There's one more base, by the way.
Nice to meet you guys.
Which one was that?
Because we had
Heartbreaker.
4, didn't we? Oh, I know which one it is. It is. Sorry, carry on. I was just muttering to Clark.
Yeah, that one's not in this build, mate.
Oh, okay.
No, we haven't run a build since.
Ah,
So it'll just be 3 at the moment. Can't show the 4th.
yeah, okay, that's all right.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's nice to be here. We're looking forward to having a look at the map. I guess if I pass it over to the Panther Dem team so they can introduce the map and explain it. For the campaign.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Oh, like it's cranked. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Charlie.
Well, appreciate everybody popping out today. Crazy awesome. Good to see you. Snakes here. Welcome. Blue, welcome. Rascal, good to see you. Stymo, welcome in. Yeah, so the folks at Orbex today, they're going to show us a little bit of a preview of what they have cooking in the oven for the next DCS update. And we'll do a bit of a Q&A. I know some of you guys have some questions that you'd like answered. So maybe 1, 2 max per person, questions that you guys really want answers to. And if the guys can't explain their answers, it's probably because it involves the NDA around Eagle Dynamics. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, we'll be on the Panther Den after this session, and we'll be hopping in the mission. So anybody in Snake's chat who's watching, listening, if you guys have Kola, come on in. It's gonna be a good time. But yeah, I guess let's kick things off. I'm sure people will keep streaming in as we're going. I guess my question, I'll kick things off, is around Sweden. Do you guys have plans to flesh out Sweden, or the portion of Sweden that we have on the Kola map?
Yes. Yes. The portion that's on the Kola map, yeah, that will be expanded upon. I think that's pretty much it, what we can say.
Yeah, I ask because we have a lot of Swedes in the DCS community, and they keep asking me.
Yeah, we've got ESPG and ESNG flagged up for the next, not this update coming, but the update after. They're 2 of the big priority ones to add in. One's a heliport. So, yeah.
Let me just so I'll just show you. I'll just put it on the screen now, and you guys can have a look. This is currently what we have in our development build. 2 seconds. Right, there we go. I'm just streaming 1440 at the moment. It is 4K, but yeah. So you can see we have well, when it stops spinny.
It's loaded up.
Yep. So we got Pachenga, we've got Koshkaya, and help me out here. I can't say it. Kilpia. And then so the four primary bases will be that one, and Pudeshemi, or whatever you call it, down there. So the only ones we're going to show today are these three up here, just to give you an overview of where we are.
Nice.
Iowa.
I guess I'll just I just call on people. Rascal, did you have any questions?
No, not at the moment.
So you will notice straight away that the materials, the Russian materials, we had some different photographs somebody provided us, and I made some new materials which are representative of what's there in real life. Now, while quite a few of these air bases, please bear in mind that currently they are in a state of complete disrepair, so therefore are not really functional within the DCS environment. So our aim is really to make it functional for you guys, but not deliver just a complete wreck of an airfield, right? So we're kind of trying to restore the airfield how they would be when they were, functional and stuff, to a point anyway. So this one here, just take off. There's some interesting. This is an interesting base actually, because this is a helo only base. So there is currently 29 slots for helos, and it is kind of a little bit of a disrepair. However, it's the helo base, how it was. Bear in mind, there's still some work that needs to be done to the surrounding tiles and stuff, about the imagery and the underlying imagery. So this is just a temporary thing that we can use. So this will open up kind of helo ops, will be one of the primary bases for helo ops for the Russian forces. Yes. All right. Doesn't like going fast. As you can see, quite a few of the areas have got ruined buildings, so we are trying to maintain a little bit of that destructiveness or uncared for look. But the areas that you guys will be taxiing and stuff like that, we're trying to keep those to be kind of functional.
Nice.
The textures that you've got here are a bit like, well, I guess what Indy was describing earlier on with regards to springtime. Is that what?
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that, Indy? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not spring, but kind of more green. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I would translate it to be like summer, I suppose. Hold on. Just gotta just shut the blind behind me. Good old track IR. Right, so choose slot. So that was Pachinga. No, sorry, that was what was that one?
That was the Hilo one. So that
Yeah.
was
So let's do. What we do see actually is quite a lot of the areas for the Russian bases. They only have one type of tile. It's very unusual to see anything apart from that one tile. So while we have tried to embellish a little bit on certain areas, probably being because the satellite imagery or whatever reference that we have isn't good enough to give us a definitive of what's there. So we're trying to sort of make it a little bit more interesting for you guys as well.
cheap Soviet construction. Lots of
Yeah.
concrete
What,
blocks.
what do you mean by tile in this context?
So you see the tiles on the
ground
floor.
tiles.
Yeah, okay, the concrete tiles. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. You look at well, pretty much all of the old Russian military bases, that's all they've got everywhere. There's no concrete, there's no tarmac, there's nothing. It's just them everywhere. Which is a little bit less it's not as interesting for you guys. Or trying to make it more visually appealing. I mean, some of the challenges that I would say when I was talking earlier to Panther Den guys is that for like the tankers and stuff, like the KC-135 or the C-130, they won't be able to take off from these bases simply because these were and are, if active, fighter bases. That's their primary focus. And with the way the AI works, and while we could technically put them in, it would restrict everything else. I mean, we could quite easily just put a slot up the top of the runway, but then if the wind is coming from the north and that C-130 needed to take off, he would have to taxi really slowly all the way down the center of the runway, therefore holding up all AI traffic to turn around and then take off. So it's a kind of a give and take situation. So
I noticed that on one of the airfields on this map, on the old one, that I put some Bear bombers, and I saw that they would, one at a time, just as you described.
Yeah.
Took forever.
Yeah, they.
so,
I think they take off from Bujarvi right now. The
Yeah.
B1s and B2, B52s. They can take off from Bujarvi, which is the road base.
yeah. I mean, this one's not too bad because you've got like this extra taxi which goes from the top all the way down to the bottom past all the parking slots, which is really good because you can use that and force the AI to go on that, so they're not taking up any part of the runway.
Yeah.
But I think what makes these bases interesting is the fact that 99% of them are covered in tree. Well, there's a lot of treeage in amongst all of the taxiways and slots and everything, which make it a little bit more of a challenge to say take off, take out targets when you're in helicopter, trying to avoid the SAM that's at this location, So you've got to get relatively close or make your way in a helicopter and stuff, which is kind of really cool. Adds that little bit extra dimension and skill, I think.
Yeah, being able to use trees as cover, that does make it a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick side question, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
So for Panther Den, it uses real weather, meaning for this map, I mean, in real life, the weather's often IFR. So, is there a way to expand the number of instrument approaches and plates and that kind of stuff to be able to support to better it supports it to some extent, but to better support instrument conditions.
Yeah, I mean, our plan is to add those things when we have the information. I mean, generally around a single airfield, you have the standard ILS. If it's like a EU airfield or something like that, you'd have ILS, you'd have PAPI. With the Russian stuff, it's kind of, we've got no charts, we've got no information other than a satellite image. Obviously, we can't get military charts or information, and we wouldn't want to use anything like that. So it's kind of the only thing that we can find on the internet is the only thing we can use. Now, while we could make stuff up, I don't believe that's the right thing to do. I don't know how you guys feel about that. But if somebody
I
might-
agree with you.
Yeah, don't
I agree with you,
make
'cause-
stuff up.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
somebody
thought maybe it was
provided-
more available. Like we looked a little bit, and I don't know if that's copyrighted or not allowed to use it. I don't know what the legalities are, but you're able to find some approach charts, but sometimes they're in the corresponding nav aid or whatever on the ground to go with it. Or
Yeah.
for instance. But anyway, that just I think it's a real thing that it is IFR often there, and it would add to the appeal, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we've got the what's it called? It's 2 seconds. Just bear with me a second. I'm just gonna find the name of it. We've got some information on the PRMGs. It's like the Russian kind of equivalent to like ILS. Kind of. So we've got an example of that, which we're going to put in as a test. But again, we don't know where they are. We don't know which airfields there are at. So it's kind of, how would you guys want this to work? Would you want us to put like the equivalent of the ILS on any runway that's over 2,000 meters? Would that work? Or any runway that's over 2,500 meters? Or do you want it on every runway? Or do you want, I mean, what do you guys want, or what would help you guys out for the most?
Well, I'm speaking for myself. Ideally, as much as possible and still be realistic.
Yeah.
Don't put it anywhere that doesn't.
So if we haven't got any,
make sense.
so currently we haven't got any information of where any of this is, because like this, this one down the bottom, 2 seconds. Let me just. So, for example, I've just finished this runway here, which is not in this build, but it is there. But this one there, the only thing we have for that is if you Google it, and then it just tells you the runway height and the runway direction for 09 and I think it was 20 something. And 21 or what, whatever it was. That's the only information we have for that airfield, and that airfield closed down in 1994. So we've got no charts, we've got no information other than what I've just said, and we've kind of got to try and make the rest up. Would you guys prefer if we made a little bit more up, or to make it more functional, or would you just like it how it is?
Again, speaking for myself, how it is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I would say speaking I would say, yeah, just how it is in real life. That's kind of the appeal of Panther. Then everything's kind of being crafted to be realistic. So
realistic.
Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, we will be putting more beacons and things around the map, nav aids and stuff. We just haven't had the time to do that at the moment. So that will be I'm sure, a pass that will happen in the coming months, whenever it's going to be scheduled in. So
Just one regarding ILS, Clark, that we've been asked in the past as well. So obviously, if anybody's coming across from MFS or other flight sims, a lot of people have asked us, oh, well, in real life, this isn't a 3-degree ILS glide slope. It's a different. We can't actually change that. So that's one of the limitations that's set in game. So if you read a navigational chart and say like the ILS is on a 3.8 degree, we can't simulate that. So a lot of people have said, oh, well, we're looking at the charts here and this is like a 4 degree sort of ILS approach. That's not dictated by us. So hopefully that'll explain that if you're flying an ILS and it's anything other than 3 degrees, guess what? It will be 3 degrees.
Okay, I
Yeah,
guess that's
sounds like
just hard
it-
coded into the map or into the sim.
It's hard coded into the function. Let's say that. It's not a limitation, and I'm sure it can be changed with regards to a little bit development on the core engine side, but that's just how it is at the moment. So I possibly think that ED will look at that later on and make it something that can be changed, but it's just not how it is at the moment. So we've got a 3 degree glide slope to play with, and that is it. Hence the Pappy.
Interesting.
So this area, as you can see, is fleshed out a little bit more with regards to buildings, surrounds, and stuff like that, and that's how it is in real life. Most of the other bases that you've seen today have basically got nothing there. There is one building, and we don't know if that's the tower or not, but there's one building, and that is it. And there's no villages. I don't know where they sleep, but this is quite a nice little base. And I just really do like the trees and stuff. The amount of trees.
It's a nice airbase.
Mm.
We go
Yeah,
through
you guys have done a great job.
taxiing through a maze.
Yeah,
And all
and
the
I mean,
trees. Very nice.
I'll show you what we did for a couple of the hangars. So you'll notice a few of the hangars in a second. I've got, well, these are actual hangars. I'm stuttering. But some of them are, there's 2 hangars, this one on the left and the one on the right just up here, which are not hangars, but they're using as storage. While we could put an aircraft in them, let's just change it up a bit. There's plenty parking spaces now with dynamic spawns, so they're not in such high demand. So we can then make it a little bit more interesting.
I hear we might have underground bunkers coming as well.
Yeah, we're going to look into it when we get.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
That'll probably be when we roll back around to Bodo, because that airfield needs some love, because that was one of our first ones.
The Norwegians call it Buddha. They keep correcting me. They keep correcting me.
Oh, it's Buddha?
Yeah, like
Buddha, yeah.
Buddha. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, I'll remember.
Now I'm excited for these new textures for the runways and the road bases. I think that's the one thing that's kind of a little off-putting on the stream. But we understand that there's a limited amount of VRAM, so it makes sense the way that things are coming together. And I guess our preference for using this map is, other than the Caucasus, it's the only other front where you can create a simulation of an engagement with Russia, which allows us to use high-digit SAMs, S300s, which we do hope will come in the base game later this year.
Yep.
Very nice.
Just a shame Discord's a bit laggy.
Yeah, I think the Discord stream is struggling. It's struggling.
Let me try and
Streaming
swap
to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'll swap it to. Hold on. I might crash yet. I'm on the other screen.
Swap
Yeah,
it for
we
30
don't-
FPS maybe. You know.
We didn't get a chance to add in some of the new textures we're working on, but as soon as we get some previews ready for the new ground textures, we'll post them around so we'll have a look.
just swapped this 4K, so it should be streaming in 4K now.
PowerPoint in 3D before though, so this is pretty cool.
It looks like my game when I play.
Oh, there you go. Look
When I
at that.
play most of the time.
Oh,
That's
that's
a lot
better.
smoother.
Lots
There
of
you
that,
go. Yeah, there you go.
Go figure. A 4090 can't handle streaming on a 1
I
gig.
think, I
Well,
think
it's
it's,
not-
I
it's not
think it's
used
more
Discord.
Discord server.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Discord. It can't handle too many connections on the stream.
Yeah. I was just wondering. It's not really related to DCS, but kind of related to you guys as a team. Are you guys working on this area in Microsoft Flight Sim at all? Because we were flying around in this area on Microsoft Flight Sim a couple of weeks ago, and I tried looking for you guys to see if you guys had done anything, and there was nothing there for Banach or any of the other air bases.
No,
No,
that'll be a no.
we do DCS on at Orbix.
The Orbix have two sides of the business. So we're DCS and only DCS. We have a couple of people that do traverse between the two with interchangeable stuff, but there's not a lot.
Seems that
Completely.
the DCS team grew this year, right?
Say again?
The DCS team on Airbox. You guys have more manpower now, right? This year.
No, we're about the same.
Yeah.
I noticed this year's updates have been bigger. We're getting more stuff.
That's because last year we spent it adjusting a lot of issues we had with some of the older airfields, etc. So and fixing other major problems that we had
the
at
core
since
map then.
launch. Yeah, so that was what a lot of last year was, and now this year it's kind of doing a bit of optimizing and focusing on content.
Nice.
Because we know you all want more airfields, etc. to play on, and eventually, more areas populated. So we're shifting focus onto that.
What about the helipads? There are a lot of helipads just going around the map. Are there going to be any air bases that are exclusively helipads?
Yep. So we got one coming in this update, which is I can't remember
This
which
one
one it was.
So this one here, hold on, let me just go back to the.
But yes, there will be
Back to the-
heliports coming in. So we got one with this update, and then there's one planned with the update after.
So this Pachanga. So this Pachanga
Yeah.
one. So this is a helo only base.
Yeah.
Hence the H on the slot
Mhm.
names. Generally, when I do an airfield, I'll put H for helos, and the rest of them, like F generally for fighter, or depend on,
Yeah.
if we've got any
I mean, like-
information of what they're called.
There might be, what I mean is there might be some heliports are only helipads. They don't have a small runway or anything. They're very small
Yeah,
air
we
bases.
could look into that and do that. You mean
'Cause
like
we have, I
Syria?
think-
You're referring to Syria?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we actually have a list of
Okay.
real life helipads on the Kola map, and
Well,
we've
if you've
put them
got them,
throughout the mission as well.
Can you pass them
We can-
over? Have you got a lat long for them?
Yeah,
If
I have
you
them
lat long.
actually. They're on the mission editor. Like I can
Okay.
send
I
them
mean,
in a
if
Miz
you've
even.
got them, please pass them over. Any information that we
Yeah.
can get that we don't actually have currently, yeah, we can certainly look into that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Harperker's being a bit subtle. He works in GIS on the side.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
so one of the things that's really cool about Panther Den is we have a script that's scraping different mapping services, and it's pulling in the names from those mapping services using an API. So we were able to mark down things on the map that aren't even there yet, which is really cool
nice.
because we're showing people like, hey, there's going to be a town here down the road.
Yeah. So most of the zones, like this mission is completely like dynamic, meaning like on the next reset of the mission, you're gonna see completely different zones. It's gonna randomize the whole set of zones, and because this is based on a scanner that was implemented, it scans the whole terrain and then picks a few flat areas that would be valid for a military base, and
Okay.
so it generates these zones on the spot and it names them through the API.
I mean, we got the names for all of the places, the place names. As you can see, when you
Yeah.
zoom in and zoom out, there's the various degrees of level of
Mhm.
display. We got those just from the OS available data. If you've got more information, please give us
Mhm.
it, and we can then look at replacing or adding extra to what we have.
Yeah,
The more
sounds good.
data, the merrier.
The more data we get, yeah, the more data we get, the better. You know, and then we
Mark,
can
with
include
regarding
it
the
in.
maps and
course.
the ability to zoom to a camera position with reference to the 2DK. I don't know if you want to
Mhm.
elaborate on that, just in case some guys aren't aware of
Yeah.
it.
So I'm not sure if you guys know, but if you go into DCS, let's just start. Do, 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 do. And we won't bother. We'll just do Control F11, and that allows me to use WASD and zoom around and stuff like that. But if you go and see something that's wrong, just go and move your camera, look at it. For example, that seam on that road. And if you look at adjust controls, hold on. So you've got load camera position and unload camera position to clipboard, right? So if you just
Mhm.
type in the search load, you'll see you've got load camera position. So it's basically copy and paste, right? So I've got them set for Shift C and Shift V. What that allows me to do is go and look at something, Shift C, and then when I paste it to somebody, it will paste them the camera position. Then they can just go and copy. Now I can go anywhere I want on this map now. As you can see, I'm going a long way away, right?
Hmm.
If I press Shift V, I go exactly to where you were looking. So
If you
that
guys
Very
are,
nice.
yeah,
helps us out.
if you guys see something like Clark said that you think's incorrect or there's a bug, so a lot of people give us Latin long, which unfortunately in the editor we can't use. We've got a script that can
Converts it and
translate it
stuff,
as
but
best, but it's very helpful to get the camera position.
Camera position. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
especially
when
on
me and
bug
Clark's working
reports.
together. Yeah.
Mm.
So if Clark sees something or Danny sees something, what they'll do is they'll send me a specific camera position, and I can
Mhm.
go just exactly to that.
Yeah. The camera position is usually the XYZ, right?
yeah,
The Y being the altitude, the height.
no, it's nothing that you can emulate because it depends on where the origin has been set for the map. It's in relation to the origin, which you have no control about. Where you don't even know where it is.
Mhm.
And generally, the map maker would set that origin as part of the project, and then everything would be embellished from that location.
Is there a way to export the camera position, or is that just a clipboard within
Yeah, no.
DCS?
If you hold on a second, let me just.
You can paste the text to someone, and you can copy that text and then do that.
So if you look on this, right, I've just posted in this channel, UCOM1 in the thing. You can see there is a camera position, minus
cool.
cameras, then lots and lots of stuff. So if you copy that now and then just make sure that on your adjust controls, your load camera position from clipboard. I know it's like Russian logic here. Why can't people just put clipboard, paste and copy? But load camera position from clipboard is actually paste, and unload camera position to clipboard is copy. So if you've taken that, what I've just posted, go into Kola and set your keys up, that will take you looking at that road.
That was
That's pretty
something
cool.
ED added, and I'll tell you where it can help you as well. If you've got your mission makers and they're looking around the map, and obviously you're talking, I'm guessing you pass people grid positions, stuff like that. So if you wanted units placed as a mission, say you guys get together and you decide where your message is, your mission is, and somebody says, "Oh, we'll have a SAM site here," that's another option you can use, and then you can take it straight there, so the mission maker can have a look at the topography of the land and choose the better site. Now, a lot of people aren't aware of that function.
It even works on it works on everything, altitude, everything. So if I do that there and I just go all the way to the ground, for example, and then I press Shift V, takes me back exactly the same place and looking in exactly the same place.
Mhm.
And that's built into
Talking
all
of
DCS.
Yes, DCS.
talking
yeah.
of unit placements, that just reminded me about the road infrastructure. So we are updating our source imagery on our development section, so we'll be able to see the roads and just the general roads, etc., a lot clearer, so we know where they'll go. So that will make it a lot easier for us to start placing them in the future, because at the moment a lot of the areas are quite blurry, so you can't tell if there's an actual road there or not. So
Yeah.
yes, so
It's more on Russian side. If we have like
Yeah.
more roads, we can create more bases in between and have some supply convoys. We can use the ground more.
yeah, we want to get more of the road infrastructure in there. It's just hard to see at the moment because the original source
Yeah,
imagery is
I don't
very
doubt it.
not the most user friendly.
Yeah.
Shall we begin the brief?
Yeah. I mean, people are welcome to ask more questions throughout whilst we're playing anyway, so there's no time restriction on those.
Yeah, I hope there's probably some more questions still.
I have a question about. There's a city called Lulu that's. Are you guys planning to ever expand the map from where it is currently to include more sovereign of Finland, such as cities like Lulu?
Is there anything that's so important about that city, or is it just because you maybe live there or something like that?
No. I'm just curious because I see it's like right on the edge of the map where it is currently in the game.
It's all down to space. You know, we could probably go another 100 nautical miles south. But again, would you be willing to accept, or would the community be willing to accept another 40 gig of downloads and updates?
It all comes down to
Probably
this.
not.
No. So, well, I would say in this state, I would say no. I say what we've got is what we can deal with. And it's a good balance as well for performance for people. And you know, it's been vigorously developed by ED and tested by ED, so we know it can handle what we're throwing at it. But I would say in the future, if ED upgrade or enhance something that would allow us to go a little bit further, then sure, why not? I mean, we could probably look at that, but
I think
we'd have to wait and see.
Yeah, our main priority at the moment is to fill what we already have
Yeah.
in the map before expanding, because we've got what is it? I think we are one of the biggest like land masses on in the game or in DCS. So it's kind of we won't commit saying yes to new areas just yet.
Very wise, very wise.
Yeah.
No, we love the mass. It's just this mission and this landmass forces you to divert or hit a tanker, and that's something that I've noticed over the last couple of years of playing DCS is some of the maps are really dense and you don't have to learn how to tank. So this is one of those maps where if you can't tank, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And on the realism side, that's kind of cool and exciting.
How it works in
I like
real
it.
life. How it works in real life. So you know.
Yeah.
Just a quick follow up on the question on expanding the map. So that's understandable that it's going to add too much to the size and load times and stuff like that. But does that not also? And don't get me wrong, I love the detail, but as you add detail, isn't it the same issue?
Not really. not really, because we've developed some blocks. Let's just call them blocks. And while we create villages and do this, we use the blocks in different ways and stuff like that, which then kind of gives the impression there's the various technology going down there as well, which make the blocks don't look repeated because they're slightly different, but that's dynamic. But they're the same blocks, if you know what I mean. So the block that's been used in Bodo may also be used in Kirkenes or wherever, right? But just in a different way.
Yeah.
So
the
It's
main
dynamically being edited.
yeah,
the main contributor to the file size would be the lakes and the rivers
Yeah,
that
the
you see in the
surface.
game. Yeah, because they break up the surface into a bigger, to lots of more parts in your mesh, and that's what adds a lot of the file size. And that's why it was so big at launch, because we already had the majority of the lakes and rivers already added in.
Yeah. So
Can I ask a similar question about Rovaniemi? The
Yeah,
city
sure.
of, I don't know how to pronounce it, but there's a building in there. I think it's the Borealis building. That I don't know if it's like super large texture files or what's going on there, but anytime you fly really low over it, it destroys your FPS. Do you know the tunnel?
Is that back?
The one with the
send me-
roads going under it.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that was we did look at that and we did revamp it and reduce the detail of the model.
Yeah, we did work on it. I wasn't getting any
Negative
problems.
feedback. People
Yeah,
weren't saying that
so
was a problem.
we can definitely look back at it again. But it comes to that point where is it down to machine spec, etc. Because obviously a lot of us have fairly high-end systems, so it kind of when we fly over it, it just doesn't. We don't get hit by the CPU bound like we did last time, because that's what caused the frame spikes. Because when you flew over it, the CPU bound hit, and then you could see on the GPU spike, you can see the frame time just massively increase, and then that's what caused the drop.
Do you know what part of the hardware causes that? Just not enough RAM. Could be that.
It might be the bottleneck on your CPU versus your GPU, and what frame rates or what resolution you're trying to play at. There's a lot of variables, and it can also come down to what are you running in your background that might be hampering performance. Like Asus Armory Crate, for example, there's a random background socket that they have can hamper your frames by 30% sometimes.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I
it's
better delete that then.
yeah.
Yeah, Armory Crate is terrible. If you guys have Asus
Yeah.
motherboards, uninstall that.
Something like Revo Uninstaller is the perfect thing to use, because it will get rid of all of the remaining files as well, because lots of lingering files will also damage your performance.
Nice, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But as a caveat to that, it may also be the building. So don't report something. Use the camera position as I explained before, and report it. Just put it in the channel, and we can certainly have a look at it.
Drop it into our support channel on Discord with like a video. Just as much data as you can provide us. Then that gives us with your system spec as well, because then that kind of gives us an idea. Oh, we should be having a look at this certain level of performance. Let's see if we've got a tester that has that spec.
Yeah, sure. I only have a 7000 X3D, but I only have 32 gigs of RAM, so I'm wondering if it's that. All right, thanks, boys.
I've got 32 gig of RAM as well, so it's I'm running on a 5900X and a 3090, so I've got the VRAM, but it's still it's an aging machine. We'll say that.
Got a question about scenery in the map. I don't know if we asked this in Discord yet or not. I've noticed a lot of dams in a lot of the villages here on the Russian side.
Yep.
And we've actually created trigger zones for them and tried to destroy them. They're indestructible. Are there any plans to actually make a damage model for them, like the bridges?
We could make well the default bridges within the terrain are destructible. The only ones that are not, there is one POI bridge which is north of Murmansk, I believe, on the river. So that's the only POI bridge that we have in at the moment. But it all comes down to video memory. The more models we add, the more video memory you guys use. And
I was asking about the river dams.
yeah, so the dams would need a destruction model, but then how are you going to emulate a dam being broken and water spilling out? Because ED don't do that. You can't do that at the moment.
Can't do that, right? Yeah. My
So that's
suspicion
not
as well.
something. Yeah, it's not something that we can do.
Maybe a destruction model of the dam itself. Like there's no.
We could certainly do
need to
that.
do any water. No need for water splashing. It's just the actual dam, because most of them look like I don't know, small buildings, right? They're not exactly bridges, but yeah, could be a damage model for that.
Yep. I think that's going to be eventually on the goal plan is to get these in, but it's just managing resources at the moment and trying to get the best use of content and delivering content for you guys. I see what that's it. That's not there's one at the other side as well.
Yeah.
This
is why we're prioritizing the airfields at the moment, just to get them in out of the way. Then we know that we don't have we know what we have in there tech wise on the TDK, so we don't have to struggle to fight to make room to add in the extra airfields, etc. Once we have that in there, then we can go back and add in the random POIs we've already got made, because we've got lots of stuff ready to go in. We just can't put it in yet.
Awesome. I think it's just too much stuff to do and so little time to do it.
Yeah.
Well, you are modeling 4 countries 1-to-1. That's a pretty challenging task. In your defense.
Well. And people wonder why John and I lose our skills to fly, because we never get a chance to fly.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys can brush up on some flying today.
Yeah.
All right. So excellent questions. Appreciate all the answers. Very in depth. We'll jump into the brief and we'll get folks flying. So we can keep the momentum. So folks that are new to this mission, I'm currently screen sharing, and if you guys are watching live, welcome. So we've sliced up the terrain into 4 phase lines. So a phase line is a term used by the military to divide up an AOR, an area of responsibility, during during war. So essentially anything that happens up here to the north is phase line alpha. So this is mostly surface warfare. I'm dealing with submarines and dealing with Type 52s. We're not going to do that today. It's the most challenging part of this mission. We really bolstered up the Russian Navy, and they just come at you with force. Bravo is the northern tip here of the peninsula. And then we got Charlie down the middle here, and you'll have these red lines to indicate where the front lines are. And then, of course, we have Delta here at the bottom. So for today, I was thinking we could chip away at Delta and start pushing towards Alakurti. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering it. But we got a lot of red air coming out of this base. So I think if we can chip our way over to this airfield, that would be a major success today. So we can hit farmyard, weapons factory. We got some FARPs here on the border. And then we got a AAA factory up here. So more than enough targets in this general area to create some chaos. We have a FARP here on the front lines. I don't think people can spawn here, but maybe we can get some cargo here as well. Suomu Vajarvi FARP, butchered that as well. But yeah, the closest airbase for fixed wing is going to be Vajarvi road base. Or if you guys want, you can come out of Ravaniemi and there is an ATIS service available there. Now, is there anyone in Discord right now who's flying who doesn't have mods or has never been in here before?
Also, if any of you don't own Kola, join in the Navy stream as we're giving away copies of the map. So you can enter the giveaway there.
Yeah, it'll be !Kola, and we'll do a giveaway every hour for the next 3 hours, and we'll give away 3 copies of Kola. I know there's a lot of folks in chat who are looking to get a copy. So yeah, good luck to everybody. Yeah, any questions?
I've had one just to kind of keep it on a broad topic. So I'm curious on how you guys pitched the idea of Kola, and kind of how ED not so much reacted, but how they embraced such a large scale map. Yeah.
Honestly, I
be able to discuss that, to be fair, because that's within other people's roles and NDAs and stuff. So I think we'll skip that if that's okay.
Okay.
I'll just say I wasn't there at the time of the pitch for the map. I joined the project later on when it was close to launch. So I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Yeah, my curiosity is more like with the relationship with ED and like how the dynamic works with working with that company.
I guess we can say there's contracts.
I've been working
lots
with
of
ED
contracts,
for
lots of terms.
6-7 years. I've been working with ED for 6-7 years. I don't have any issues at all with them, so they've been really fair and really nice. So yeah.
Well, cool.
Good media training. Awesome.
Yeah. How much are you paid to say that, really?
So yeah, I am live. If anybody wants to just watch, I'm live on Twitch. One thing I should note for everybody, we're going to be on TAC frequency. So if you look at your knee board, actually, I guess I'll quickly share my screen here. All right. So yeah, this is the knee board that you guys will find in your jets or helicopters. It's pretty straightforward. Everything is pre-programmed into most aircraft on the NATO side. The big ones to look out for are TAC frequency. That's the combat frequency that we'll all be on. So 246.5. Everybody should be able to get on there. That's a great way for us to communicate. And then if you guys are at airfields, you can use common advisory on 122.9. And then we also have an AWACS service, North AWACS, Central and South. Most of us will be on Central and South, so you guys can tune into Dark Star 2.1 or Dark Star 3.1. So that'll be on 2575 and 2585. Does anyone have any questions about the sit rep of the mission or how the mission works?
Take that as a no.
I will take that as a no. Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, I'm going to mute my Discord. I'll see you guys in the server. If anyone has any issues, I think Hart's going to be floating around as tech support.
Yeah, I'll be here. If anyone having any issues, hit me up.
Where are we
All
spawning,
right.
Indy?
I think we'll do Revinyemi. Let's
okay.
just try to get as many people in at Revinyemi as possible. And if there's no slots left, then folks can go to Vujarvi Road Base.
Roger.
Hopefully you guys don't run into any performance issues. Too many aircrafts next year.
We'll see.
As long as it's not the Phantom, we'll be all right.
Or the Tomcat.
Don't put a Chinook, please. No Chinooks.
Yeah.
Autobots, roll out.
All right. Good luck, everybody. Godspeed.
Yeah. Where's me rosary beads?